Alright. This is the 1939 Ford 3-speed transmission case. Took it to the machine shop with all the engine parts. Just got it, ran it through their bead blaster or whatever they do. I don't know exactly. But it's clean. No grease, no paint, no nothing. Got most of the parts here, ready to go. So I'm just going to take my time, clean all this up, clean the parts. Got some new parts. Show you real quick. That's like a, got to be new old stock. Just the box is old, everything. Really cool. It's just one of the interior bushings. It goes inside the synchro shaft, synchro gadget, I think. I'll show everything even if I don't know all the names. Got a new slider, first and reverse slider gear. When you compare it to the old one, you can really see the difference. Everything's nice and square, no worn edges. I've already tested it on the shaft. It slides smooth. It's not a brand new shaft, but it doesn't have any of the chatter marks where the bearings right here. This one on here, back and forth. That's the old one. That's the new one. Got the small parts kit. Just got the bushings and spacers and O-ring. Snap rings. New bearings. It's the top quality bearing. ORS. I don't know what that company is, but all this stuff came from Van Pelt Sales. Trust them. They're the good transmission part supplier. Probably more knowledgeable than anybody else out there, or at least with a business. New roller bearings for the different places on the shaft, bottom and front. And that's about it for the new parts. Got all the old parts over there. Like I say, we've cleaned them once, but they've been sitting around. They probably got a little dust on them. We'll clean them again as we go. I go get some clean rags over from the paint area. I'm gonna try to clean stuff with a dirty rag. See? That's why we clean. What I'm struggling with in there is the reverse gear shaft, the front journal or whatever you want to call it. This hole here is not original. Make sure I'm in the frame. Yeah. What this does, there's a bracket that goes with the kit that puts the V8 in the Model A, and it bolts onto the bolts onto here when you put this onto the engine bell housing and everything. And then there's a bolt that goes down here that helps support it. And so when it's flat, and then there's a couple of spacer washers that go under there, and it helps support because the wishbone ball goes right there. So we've drilled that hole. It's in the right place, but I thought I'd just point it out since I got there. I checked these holes earlier. Threads are all good. Got the original bolts. quick check, make sure the shaft goes through. Get a chunk of wood to set this up. This shaft does not turn, everything turns on it, so being hard to get in is not a problem as long as it fits. And we'll have some prelude before we do it. I'm just doing a couple of test fits to make sure I'm not crazy. I might be crazy anyway. But brand new little reverse. Oh, yeah. That one's going to fit nicely. Say I'm just getting some dust and stuff sitting around. These have been in the ultrasonic a few different times. Inspected as best as I know how. Hadn't seen any of the bad stuff. This is the where the first gear rides on there, but with the new selector shaft, selector slider. Should be fine. This is some assembly glue. That's what they call it. It's really thick grease, but it dissolves in other grease and oil, so it'll hold stuff to put together and then not be in the way. I see some people on videos really gooping it in, but I just put enough to hold it, to hold the piece in place. This piece has got the little tang. It goes in the front, fits in a little slot. I'm not intending to make an instructional video for y'all because I'm nowhere near an expert. I've been watching videos and looking at books. I've got Van Pelt's book in the office that I'm probably fixing to go get. I just know these are the first steps. The rear one has 4 nubbins that go in these 4 little square slots, just like so. So that spins with the gears, and so the back is the thrust slash wear surface. New little roller bearings. You'll notice there's, won't notice if I don't show you. There's 2 short ones, 1 long one. I'm gonna go get the book again, but I'm pretty sure the long one goes in the back. Yeah, I can see the wear surface. There's more pressure at the back from first and reverse gears on this output area, and so that takes up more. And the front's right at, the smaller one's right at the front of this. There's a spacer in between right here, and the other one rides in here. And that's where it had some wear on the original main shaft. I'm gonna give them, they're just a little sticky. Give them a quick blast with the brake parts cleaner. Okay, it says, I'll paraphrase, this kit includes 2 short and 1 long, it's got the part numbers, plus 1 extra spacer ring. Alright, I lost the spacer ring. Oh, there it is. 1 extra spacer ring, which is, it's not a snap ring or anything. It looks like a chain link from like some chain mail or something. Put it right there with them. Regular spacer tube and the short roller bearing go in the front. The long bearing goes in the rear of this cluster gear. The second short bearing goes on the main shaft pilot against the ring. Then the extra 7063 ring in the kit is fitted onto the main shaft pilot in front. Okay, so I have one of these, and he said to put another one in the front. Boom, boom, boom. So that's what we'll do. We're not ready for that, so I'm going to set it over to the side. Leave that piece of paper right there to remind me. Long in the rear, short in the front. You know what? For fun, I'm going to put some regular assembly lube on those, just in case it takes a minute. Make sure it doesn't take too long for stuff to get in there for it. It's got good lubrication. This is just some of the Molly, the black engine assembly lube. Somewhat liberal. The gear oil will go in there pretty quick. There's holes in here, and I mean it's sitting in the bottom, so it's sitting completely submerged in the gear oil. This bottom shaft, counter shaft is. Give it every chance in the world to last a good long time. So with the spacer, those gears come right out to the end. It goes on. Put me some sticky goo on here too, just to hold it onto the end of the counter shaft gears until I get it down in place. Go. Got the other thrust spacer washer in there, and it's a tight fit, but it should slide right. Down in place. Like that. It's too far, but that's okay. A little bit of lube on this just to get it started. saw this trick on a video somewhere. This is the retainer rod that goes through there, but it makes for a good handle. Get it started. I'm not going to show you, but you can see in the front the little thrust washer. And I'm going to take the holes are here and here. It goes all the way through both, so you can line it up like that. As hard as that's going, front to back, the gear is spinning smooth and easy. That's still a little bit proud. I'm going to leave it just like that because it's caught on both ends until I get ready to put this in a little bit. Next, we're going to put reverse I measured all these a while back and the bushing is fine here. This is a new shaft. The old shaft was just barely under tolerances for what's acceptable, so I went ahead and let it go. Alright, you can see there's a ridge or shoulder, whatever, on front versus back, and I honestly don't remember which way it goes. Pretty sure the shoulder thing goes to the back. That lines everything up on the front. Yeah, if you put it the other way, it hits the thrust washer. But just to make sure, I'm going to run grab the book. Make sure I'm doing that right. I know I got that one right, so. Yeah, I was right. Sometimes it just makes sense, but always better to check. There's no thrust washers on these or anything. The surfaces were clean, look good. A little bit of assembly lube. The shoulder does go towards the back of the case. Drops down in there. All right, there's that. I'm gonna shut you off, check a couple of things in the book, and then I'll bring you back. I gotta assemble the main shaft, which means I need to push some bearings and stuff off, so, and push the new bearings on. Be back in a little bit.